true. So we're going to get cracking tonight. So welcome, everybody. My name is Navtaj. I've been your host, a friend, and I've been doing this so-called mastermind network meeting since 1993. And it's been 30 plus, 32, 33 year plus. Makes me look old, but I am old. And it is fun. It's learning process. It's a platform where we all learn from each other and see opportunities we don't see it otherwise, though. Here we go. Little disclaimer. This is tonight's meeting starting at 7. We'll be finished exactly at 8 o'clock. Just to let you know, this mastermind is strictly for information education purposes only. Make sure you get advice from proper licensed professionals. Yes, all investments carry risk. Be aware of it, no matter what you say, but it is there for you. So here is something beautiful, and I wish I now I see it. You know what they're doing in schools? People realize it. Hey, listen, this education is not good. Why not? Well, whatever you learn from school, sometimes it does not really apply in real life, though. So what they'll start doing is providing a education which is more real. So it happens in in Kansas, is a high school. They open up a real credit union for high school kids. And they said, this is real life, real world, and this is what you need to do. And a lot of students from this school, this is financial education. I wish we had it all when we were young, or even now. We should have it more often in Canada, which we don't. But unfortunately, it's not there. So be it. So what does that mean in plain English? It means that people who are not exposed to real life experience may not excel. So after doing this training, a lot of young kids start saying, okay, you know what? I want to go into financing. I want to create my own business. I know how the money works. How much is my budget? Do I have a credit card? What is my limit? And they become pretty frugal. It's not being cheap. Frugal is something totally different than cheap, though. Just that I should share with you. So now you wonder, oh, you guys are pretty smart. Interesting. So here is something else which we have feeling a lot of heat. Are we losing a lot of jobs in Canada? What exactly are the real numbers are? Is unemployment rate is going low? Why is that? Because over 94,000 Canadians gave up the job hunting. Some of the information you may gonna find will be able to relate to you. You're gonna say, okay, you know what? This makes a lot of sense for me. Now I can relate to it. I know it. Now, a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. And I'm going to ask our good friend here, Michael Ferguson. I haven't seen him for ages. Michael, can you just unmute yourself? Mike Ferguson? Unmute yourself first, my friend.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
good.
Mike Ferguson. I met Nav about 11 years ago. We've done a few deals there at the start of my training, and then he just invited me back to. He just wanted me to tell a little story that we had way back when I was starting off. He got a call from a gentleman named John Ford up in Muskoka, and he had a property for sale. So Nav took myself and a few others up there to see it. And Nav looked at me and said, "Do you want to buy it?" So I said, "Sure." So Nav calls this flipping the flip. So basically, he put the deal under contract. Then he did an amendment and flipped it to me. And then after a few weeks, I did an amendment and I flipped it to my brother. So basically, Nav made about 15,000 on the flip. I think I made 20 or 25. And then my brother finished the house and I think he made like 45 or 65,000. So he just asked me to come out and just mention it to you so that in today's hard times, even if you're not ready to do a deal yourself, this might be an opportunity where you put it under contract and then you flip the contract yourself to someone else so that you can still make money, even though you don't want to do the whole deal yourself. And
Excellent.
that was a good 9 or 10 years ago.
I think 2014, if I'm not mistaken, in Huntsville.
Okay, a little longer then.
Yes, interesting.
Yeah.
And Michael have seen me a couple of other deals in 2 or 3 deals in Brampton and so on. But again, question is tonight, Mike, what kind of mistakes investors make in your opinion?
Basically, you got to do your due diligence. We got burned on the Toronto deal. We didn't do our title searches completely, and we made an error there. Um, if you're doing like sheriff sales, you really want to do your due diligence and scope out the crowd. Try and find out who's trying to push the prices up, stuff like that. Um, build up a team, really, contractors, realtors, lawyers, so you have an idea of what your expenses are going to be. And if you do get a deal, what can you sell it for? And that's basically what I've been doing for a number of years now.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna move forward because we got a couple other things to discuss tonight as well, though. All right. So, condos. Who's buying them? Now, in Toronto, a lot of these condos are in 300,000, and they are private equity companies who have their exit strategies lined up. They have billions of dollars. What are they doing? They're buying in bundles. And what their exit strategy is, to them, for all the information I have, they're planning to dump it. When? Here's the deal. Now, there's no more condos coming up in Toronto. It takes 3 to 4 years. Nobody's building them. There's going to be a huge vacuum in 2029 or 2030. What's going to happen? There are buyers who need to buy it, and there's no product, no supply whatsoever. So their intention is to make a profit of 1.5 times to 2 times. So they're picking up the condos for 200 to 300,000, and for 5 years they're expecting to dump them. Again, this is something we have seen happen every time there's a boom, there's a burst. In my opinion, this is the best time to invest. It's a dip. It's a great real estate dip. As long as you make positive cash flow, you have the ability to hold on to it for 5 to 6 years. You want to dump it, bingo, billion-dollar private equity companies. As a matter of fact, I've been invited to I've been invited to we have been invited to one of the private equity companies for a meeting, and I will share with you what they have to say. So virtually zero completion, and getting back to our original thing, is it a good time to buy real estate? Now, you're going to have two different opinions on it. Is it a good dip, or are you still going to catch a falling knife? Is it going to destroy you? And it's not for everybody. It is for certain type of people who understand the risk and rewards. And if you can hold on to it for 5 years, 6 years, you will be good. Again, that's opinion only. Make sure that whatever you do, become aware of risk and rewards. Here is something else we need to also look into it. A lot of opportunities are arising across Canada because there's a huge gap, that number of houses we need. Now, there's a new trend. What's the new trend? Everybody, especially luxury rentals, is in great demand. As a matter of fact, a 3-bedroom, 1,200 square feet or 1,500 square feet, a laneway house in one of the most, I think, tourist area where we have the most restaurants in North America, that is Ossington and Queen Street in Toronto. Guess what the rent is? $6,500 a month. Can you imagine that somebody is oh boy, go back. That somebody is willing to pay that kind of money. It's a different ball game. And what's the investment to build it? Even if you charge it $400 per square feet, it's less than $500,000. If it is $500,000 investment can bring you $72,000 income, are you okay with it? So there are opportunities within the opportunities. On the other hand, there is declining in rents. BC is on top, by the way. Ontario is 3.3, and Quebec and Alberta. We all are going through a cycle because there is a lot of inventory and there is some shift happening in this market. So here is the real deal. And this is something which is priceless. This is going to be discussing for the next 10 years. The luxury rental, the missing middle. This is strictly for Toronto market, only Toronto. The reason I'm going to say it is not Alberta because the rents in Alberta are different than Toronto. Toronto is 1.5 times or almost double. Comparatively, I'm going to share some information with you tonight. So this is a building multi-units. What are the benefits? Why do you must build in Toronto? Number one, supply and demand. There are no development charges, and there's a huge revolution for what they call is for zoning and HST rebate. Just imagine you build a 5-unit building worth $3 million, and you save about 3 million times 0.3%. That's about $400,000 savings up front. So this is something happening in Toronto. Those who are interested in it, we will talk more, discuss about it. Here are the rents. Where are the rents are? Forget about the pigeonholes. Forget about the bachelors. The highest rent is in 3 bedrooms. This information based upon CMHC. Who is fetching the highest rent? 3 bedrooms. Even there could be 3 single people living sharing together, but you want to go into investment where your money can bring a lot more money back. You are looking for a return, and you want to have a tenant. If you're a long-term investor, you don't want a tenant for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. It costs you more. You want a tenant minimum 5 to 7 year tenant. So when you're looking at the profile of a tenant, especially in Canada, and if you're a long-term investor, you must look into it. Hey, listen, if I kind of find a tenant who's going to rent 3 bedrooms from me for 5 to 7 years, you are going to have a return on your money. You're going to build equity. And it's going to be a lot less management problem altogether. Short-term rentals, I'm not fond of it. Again, other people are. That's my personal opinion. Again, 3 bedroom, 5 to 7 year long-term commitment. Great tenant, great demand for next 10 years until we reach the 3.6 million more homes and until immigration opens up a little bit more. Until that, we are in for a little shop. So here's the average asking rent, just to share with you. This information from rentals.ca. If you look at 3 bedroom, is $3,300 in Vancouver, about $33,000 plus in Ontario. If you look at the same thing in Alberta, it's $2,100. It's 2/3 for 3 bedroom. If you look at other provinces, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. But Nova Scotia is a different ballgame right now. But understand the market start collapsing in Halifax. So just be aware if you are from Halifax, please work with your fact and figures. It's a very important part of it. You don't do proper research, you're going to get burned. Don't go into it because it's a temporary boom. People get burned. You're not a speculator, you're an investor. You're in for long term. All right, we're going to move into a boom. What is the boom? It's going on right now. Rental construction is purpose-built construction in Canada. All the builders, developers, nobody don't want to build the houses or condos. There's no money in it. Purpose-built building. Buy it, rent it, keep it. And here's another scenario, another incredible opportunity for you. 5.3 million seniors in Canada. guaranteed paycheck. As a matter of fact, in the province of Ontario, if you're renting to seniors and the assisted living, there's no rent control. No rent control. Check it out. Do your thing. So senior housing is on fire in Canada. Incredible amount of information, by the way. All right, power sale, opportunity time. A lot of great opportunities out there. Why? Every day you hear the headline. Now, some of you might have received a couple of my 10-second videos where I talk about this thing. I barely talk for 5 seconds or 8 seconds, but only helpful information. No boring stuff. So defaults are rising, and Ontario, it is the capital of defaults, so it's the BC. What does that mean? A lot more opportunities. You need to help those Canadians who need to cut down their expenses. They need to downsize. For you, it's opportunity time. And they don't have to pay legal fees and all those charges. They don't have to go become homeless. And I'm going to be sharing this information with you, how we can assist them as well. So if you look at the CMHC, and they're saying, oh boy, this thing is going up and up. This information from CMHC. Over 12,000 mortgages in arrears September. Again, this is how it goes. Now, here is the other bad news. In a way, power sales up by 639% in 1 year. Whoa, is that a lot? Yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg, by the way. And here comes other stuff, renewals. When anybody is renewing their mortgage, their payments are going up by 20 to 40%. Why? Variable rate or fixed rate? You know, you can turn the blinders on, keep it on, but again, it's going to hit you when you come to renewal. And it's going to hit this year the hardest to a lot of Canadians. So, is your payment going to go up by 40% or 20%? If you have 5-year fixed rate, then you're expecting 20%. If you have 5-year variable rate, you can expect payment to rise by 40%. Please make sure you have advice from a bona fide, well-qualified mortgage broker or a banker. It's going to hit you. It's going to hit you hard. So tonight, David, are you here? I'm not sure if you're supposed to be here, but David, are you here? Yes, not. Vladimir, is David here? Yes, all right, no problem. I think he might have other commitments. So if you got a hottest deal, you want to share with other investors, please let us know. Send us an email, and you have to be a paid member to join us. So how about the hard money lending? Again, this is a great way of borrowing money, even it's a little higher interest rate. Sometimes the deals get done. It doesn't matter because you're only borrowing for a very short period of time. If you look at all the costs involved and you calculate it, if it's still feasible, hey, it's okay to borrow money on, say, hard money lender. Jyoti, are you here? Jyoti? Here, Jyoti. Jyoti, are you here? No. Jyoti? No, I guess not. Jyoti is an attorney, by the way, a real estate lawyer. She has a degree from India, UK, and Canada. And those who are not aware of it, she could be a great person to contact. All right. Moving forward with this thing, now we're going to talk to one of the other person who takes a lot of your money. An average Canadian pay 42% of their income toward the taxes. The property tax, the paycheck, income tax, sales tax, GST, PSC, and they pay a lot of taxes. Whether you like it or not, become aware. For us to enlighten it, the CRE and a revenue agency could be after you, not knowingly what have you done, and they intend to audit. For you to avoid all this stuff, we need to bring Jerry Hogan. Are you here, Jerry?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So today he's going to talk about, I think this is a different topic, but Jerry Hogan is one of the only Canadian who is licensed in 5 different separate regulated investment marketplaces. He's CPA. He's also an investor. Jerry's all yours, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Nav. Appreciate that. Yeah, audits. Wow, they're CRA is turning up the fire on the audits. We're expecting a lot more audits moving forward, and that's kind of a mandate from the government. So anyway, it doesn't stop us from doing what we're doing. We're still entitled to save taxes. Structure our affairs in the most tax effective way. Just make sure you have good documentation for everything that you're doing. I think you wanted to chat about the TFSAs and RSPs.
Yes, please.
Yeah, TFSAs, they've kind of hit our radar, and the reason they kind of have now and didn't before the amounts were just too small in the TFSA that people were allowed to put in. They've increased those amounts. You can put up to basically $100,000 into your TFSA. So from a real estate perspective, that kind of opens our eyes. Inside of that TFSA, we can lend out mortgages. So if you've got $100,000 to lend out as a mortgage, if you make 10%, that's $10,000 you're making in your TFSA, and there will be zero tax while it's in there, and zero tax when you take it out. So that's not a bad option. On the RSP side, you can do the same thing. It's not as easy as you think to use RSP money to invest into real estate. There's a few ways to do it. One, as you may or may not know, you can hold mortgages inside of your RSP. So we do that a lot with clients where let's just say we're putting a deal together, we need some money, and someone has money in the RSP. Now, if we're going to do it as a mortgage, we have to register that RSP mortgage onto the property. And if we have one person, that's usually not a problem. If we have more than one people, we can either put second, third, fourth mortgages on, or we can do a syndicated mortgage, just register a single mortgage document with whoever names are investing into the project. So that's one way to do it. And also, when we do our joint ventures, it's really cool. We try to actually send as little money back into the RSP, and then the bulk of the return, we structure it that it's earned outside of the RSP. So it's really cool when you use your registered money to earn income outside of your RSP. So that's a strategy we do a lot. Another way to invest in real estate in the RSPs is you can invest directly into projects, but you need to go through, I don't want to overcomplicate things. You have to go through an MFT, which is a mutual fund trust on top of a GPLP, general partnership, limited partnership. And that flows down into the corporation. Now, that may sound confusing to people, and it is confusing to those that don't work with it. If you're familiar with the real estate income trust, that's exactly how they do it. So Equiton or Centurion, if you invest in those, you're putting your RSP money into those real estate REITs, and they're doing the same thing. Your money's going to, usually we use Olympia Trust. Olympia Trust will put it through a mutual fund trust. It'll go through a limited partnership into the corporation at Equiton or Centurion or any of the REITs that we use. So those are really the three ways you can invest money inside of your RSP. One is a mortgage. Two, if there's a funnel set up that you can put money into a project. Then the third one is investing in real estate income trusts. So those, that's better than nothing. It's too bad it wasn't a little more open with the RSPs. I've always said they're far too restrictive. It's your money. You should really do what you want with it. It's certainly also when they talk about affordable housing and all that problem. why not give some incentive for people to lend money in their RSPs to first-time homebuyers? Give them an extra enhanced credit. Give them, you know, let them lend money at the bank rate to a first-time home buyer. So anyway, but they don't seem to do that. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of RSPs from a tax perspective. I always say to people, an RSP is not an investment vehicle. We use it as a tax vehicle. Okay, as you probably know, you get a deduction going into the RSP and you got to pay tax going out of the RSP. If you get a 50% savings when you put the money into the RSP, and if you can pull it out at 20%, you've beat the tax system by 30%. That's a great thing. We do that all the time. We see a lot of people putting money in and saving a low amount, 20% maybe savings when they put the money into the RSP, and they're pulling it out at a higher amount. So that makes no sense. You're losing the tax game on that one. So just be aware, don't, especially now in February, you're going to get bombarded with the banks, indoctrinating everybody that they need to put all their money into an RSP. That is not the case. You don't need an RSP to retire. You need money to retire. So it's best to have that money outside of the RSP. So anyway, just a little insight there for you, Nav. As far as RSPs and TFSAs, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it. Now we're going to move forward. We're going to moving forward with Toronto real estate. What was the 2025 year? Now, there's a good news, always a bad news. And bad news is always a good news. How many of you agree with me? A good news can be bad news, and bad news can be good news. All of a sudden, all the speculators are out. People are offering a lot of cash to buy their assignments. Things have changed. Now, this is different market altogether. Of course, in any market you are going to be in, it's never going to be smooth ride. And again, things change. A lot of factors are played. There are too many moving parts in the business of real estate. I've been around for a long time. I'm sure some of you have been here a long time. And I will be asking even one of our experts, Shelley Hogan. She'll be speaking shortly. And she will tell you, what she have gone through, what happened in 83 in Calgary, and what happened after, and how this thing affects prices all across Canada altogether. So we're going to bring also over my sister, half sister or full sister, Randy Goodman. Randy, are you here?
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Randy, it's all yours, my friend.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. So is now the moment to buy Canada's crashing real estate dip, or is this a falling knife? Before we decide whether now is the moment to buy or whether this is a falling knife, we need to start with the facts, not fear, not headlines, and not social media noise. Let's start with the most recent confirmed data. According to the latest TRREB market, for January 2026, GTA home sales came in at approximately 3,082 transactions, which is down nearly 20% compared to January 2025. This is a significant year-over-year decline in activity, and it tells us buyer hesitation is still very real. The average selling price in January was approximately $973,000, which means prices are now below the $1 million mark and down about 6.5% year over year. How long has it been since we've heard that one? MLS Price Home Index benchmark was down roughly 8% compared to last January, confirming that the softness isn't just in averages, it's broad-based. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. While new listings in January were down about 13% year over year, total active listings actually increased, sitting around 18,000 units, up roughly 8% from last year. That combination, fewer sales, elevated inventory, and longer days on market, puts us firmly in a buyer's market. We're also seeing average days on market stretch out to roughly 2 months and months of inventory approaching 6 months. That's not panic selling, that's negotiating power returning. A falling knife implies fear, forced selling, and systematic failure. That's not what these numbers show. We're not seeing mass defaults. We're not seeing banks dumping inventory. We're not seeing sellers collapsing across the board. What we are seeing is fragmentation. Some segments are absolutely still under pressure. Overbuilt condo markets, highly leveraged investors, deals that only worked at ultra low interest rates. Those can be falling knives if you buy them without margin, cash flow, or structure. But at the same time, we're seeing motivated sellers emerge, particularly around renewals. Pricing realism finally take hold and buyers regain leverage for the first time in years. That's not a crash. That's a reset play out unevenly. Investors lose money in this environment when they assume appreciation will bail them out. That's speculation, and speculation gets punished in reset markets. Disciplined investors are doing the opposite, buying income first, stress testing at higher rates, negotiating aggressively, structuring deals to work even if prices stay flat. If the deal only works if prices go up, you're catching a falling knife. If it works on cash flow, structure, and margin, you're buying strategically. So is now the moment to buy? My professional opinion is yes, for prepared investors who know exactly what they're buying and why. And no, for anyone chasing fear, headlines, or hope. This market doesn't reward speed, it rewards discipline. Thank you.
All right. So Randy Goodman is a realtor, by the way. Those who are looking to buy a piece of property, investment property, please contact her directly, 647-284-7601. She is one of the best, 12-time bestseller internationally. She is somebody you wish you could do more business with. She's an incredible person, by the way. Known her for many, many years. So let's talk about real estate. If you are not a member, please become a member. It costs not much. Are you a buyer now? Are you looking for deeply discounted property? Text your name to us. We will put you on a cash buyers list. We have several properties available and they come and go pretty fast though. And I'll be sharing some of these properties where as recently as this month, people have made somewhere from $25,000 to $500,000 or more, or potential profit of $500,000 or more by simply utilizing simple strategies. It's a great time to do the dip. If you are wholesaling it, great time. You're wholetailing it, excellent time. If you're building it, conversions, incredible time. What happened? No competition, and lots of opportunities, owner financing, creative stuff. So Toronto condo sellers offering $500,000. Why? The condo costs $5.5 million. What is $500,000? It's less than 10%. Again, this is a different ball game altogether. That was a headline in the Toronto Star, I believe, and I just thought I should share with you. So these are the headlines which gives you, oh, okay, what's happening? Is Toronto market is totally crashing? No, it's opportunities time, my friend. So here is something I like to suggest and ask everybody. There's the hottest area in Toronto, and there is the coldest area where it takes a long time to sell. So in this area, especially, for example, we are looking at in the area of Nelson, which is, I believe, Ward 22. And we're looking into these areas because the properties make sense. Now, there are some market, Blue West Village, Brampton East. As a matter of fact, they call Courts, Nelson, and I believe Lynn Creek are the hottest area. They're in different areas, Toronto, Brampton, Whitby. On the other hand, if those areas which are suffering are larger areas, town of King, Mississauga, in Streetsville, by the way, they're taking more than 3 months to sell. It's okay to be aware that this type of information is available in every city. Ask your realtor. He'll be happy to help you out. Just thought I'd share with you If you want to flip the houses, look into the area where it sells really fast. Okay, even though profit may be less, but time is the key. So here is some simple trick. This is somebody who is adding $500,000 by simply getting what? They have single family home. They have not done anything to it, but they've done something great. It's called planning, zoning, getting a building permit ready to build. Is that okay that you can make extra $500,000 by doing the legwork? Does it cost money? Yes, it does cost money. It takes some time, 6 months to 8 months, or nowadays it's 6 months. Just imagine you're going to demolish this house and you're going to put a 23-bedroom house on it. Is that a good deal to buy this piece of property for 1.8? In my opinion, yes. And it is worth it. They have done all the legwork. It's great for the developers. Most of you may not realize it. As an investor, you also become a developer. And developers are no different than you. They look like exactly like you. They have the same strategy, but they make the money in this type of deal. They may not make $1 million or $2 million, but they're not going to sell it. They're going to hold on to this property for the next 10 years or 20 years. They're going to live off the cash flow. They're going to be enjoying the 5% only in the equity, and they're going to cash out. This is incredible opportunities, though. Some of the rebates you should look into it, which is great. Heat pumps are number one, insulation is second, and greener home loan. Just be aware of it. It's 0% interest rate. Check in your province you're in, and make sure you are. Just make a phone call. Just Google it, whatever it takes to check it out. So what is happening? There's a huge demand in hotels. Airbnb has been banned in certain places, and so are the short-term rentals. And what happened? All of a sudden, private equity companies or large developers, builders said, I'm not going to build a condo, rather build a hotel. So there are about 5,800 rooms to be built in Vancouver, and they are under construction. What does it tell you? These are the facts and figures, by the way. You can just check them out, 29 hotels. So, Frank, are you here? Frank Fernandez. Yes, not. Vladimir, is he here? Vladimir?
He's not here.
Okay, all right. So who's a Frank Fernandez? He's one of the superstars, just like Vladimir, Keith Martin. I believe there are a few others on here tonight. So what does Frank do? Now, Frank is not sitting back. He is active. So he recently did this piece of property in, come on. Frank just recently did another flip in Brampton. So what is this property is all about? No, Vladimir. We're also going to introduce you to Vladimir. He's also a superstar. He has been working with us, or should we say, we have done a lot of business together. Vladimir, it's all yours for next 60 seconds or 90 seconds.
Thank you very much. One thing what I'm gonna tell, I remember how I start, and interesting enough, it wasn't first deal, second deal, or third deal. It was deal number 10 or maybe 20. And I remember some of the deals was, I was calling the person, and like he was telling, like he's selling his property. So I was sending him a letter of intent and start doing my due diligence. And what I find out, he not even owner of the property. So my short point gonna be like, it's very important to do your due diligence. You have to do really good due diligence. And I think Randy said it, it's really important. Not speed, more prepare. The more preparation you do, the more safe you become. And Uncle probably know a lot of the stories. One of the biggest stories, we went to buy a property. It was on sale, and what was interesting, it was downtown in like a little bit south. I forget the name of the place. And what was interesting, property was really cheap, but it has CRA lien on it for 500,000. So when you buy this property, you have like something attached, but it's now I am like it's detached to you. This $500,000 lien. So it's very important to do your due diligence because so many times we saw things when people buy like 1/4 of the property for almost full price when they do sheriff sale. So it's very important to do your due diligence. If you learn something, due diligence, it's number one. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Vladimir. Thank you for sharing. Again, once you are going to buy any piece of property, it comes with a lot of things wrong with it. And certain things we can fix it, certain things can be very dangerous, and not realizing we really buy properties at wholesale price or at deeply discounted properties. We buy it through civil enforcements. Some of the stuff a lot of people never heard about it, but some of them are great deals, by the way. So moving forward with this thing, here is the deal. Frank did this deal. This is a piece of property in Brampton, Ontario. It's about 2,800 square feet of a house. Beautiful house. I think he bought it and he have assigned it. He's simply transferring the rights before closing, and all he's doing is making about 25,000 profit. Not bad for flipping a piece of paper. But how about the next one I'd like to share with you? This is a piece of property in Mississauga. It's called wholetailing. So what the situation is, this person who was in trouble, they have some we call judgment against it. The judgment was for $75,000 lingering around for the last 25 years. And it comes to the point where they could lose their property and become homeless. So an investor went in who wanted to create a win-win situation, said, listen, why don't I do this, pay off everything, and vendor take back, and we'll give enough time to get out. And it's in one of the beautiful area called Lakeview Village. It's a development area in the waterfront. Picked up the property for $550 in Mississauga, 50 feet lot. Nice, reasonably good house. Not much required. I believe this property will be selling for, I don't know, 1.2, 1.1. Even no matter which way you look at it, the investor is helping a family in trouble, which they had option one, get nothing. Option two, get some money, get some lot of time, all the pressure relieved, and they can move forward. And otherwise, it was one of those last-minute things. The investors have to be very careful that when we are helping these families, they look a little bit more into it. And there's a huge amount of profit to be made, by the way. In this market, people say moving people properties are not selling, their properties are selling, by the way. So here is something you should know. Some of these areas, talking about power sale, people who bought at the peak of it, unfortunately, they have to sell it. They're losing almost half the equity or half the price. Unfortunately, it happens, and it happens in every market. This is something which is happening a great deal in Alberta, by the way. Alberta is leading, turning single-family home to multi-units. Calgary on fire, Edmonton on fire. So I got two people here tonight, Ernie Gardi, and I got Shelly Higgin. Ernie, are you here tonight? Ernie? Ernie Gardi. Saw him here. Shelly?
Hi,
Shelly Higgin?
Navtaj. I'm here.
Okay, great. So share your opinion about conversions in Calgary or Edmonton or Alberta.
So, well, right now, Alberta's been doing okay. Year over year, the prices are up slightly, 3%, maybe 4%. Depends on most of it. Inventory is up. Things are not selling as fast, but the average price has increased. Somewhat deceptive. Some neighborhoods have increased more than others, and it kind of balances itself out. But as you're talking here about this acquisition strategy here with future development, there is so much happening here, which I'm sure in most major cities are too, but certainly with the increased density bylaws that have changed over the last couple of years, these little houses, infill houses are being torn down, especially on corner lots. And now we're getting 8 units on those, sometimes 12, depending on how many lots you got. So there's a lot going on right now. We're hoping that going into the spring market, we have a lot of inventory on the market right now. Condos, are very similar to what's happening in Toronto, somewhat depressed compared to single family homes. We're hoping that the market picks up come spring. Things, of course, have been impacted with what's been going on with our neighbors to the south. And the tariffs have certainly impacted some areas here as well. But so that's kind of what's happening right now. Just everywhere you go, there's construction. And as you were talking about earlier, unprecedented number of rental units have been built. Just really significantly, I think, overbuilt in a lot of cases. And as you're saying, it's driven down the rental market. It certainly make it a little more affordable for the average family trying to find a place to rent. Was there anything else you wanted me to cover off?
Well, that's good enough. Thank you, Shelley. Ernie
Okay.
Gardi, are you here tonight? Ernie?
He's here, but he's in attendee. If you can switch him to panelist.
All right, let's see if he is available to speak tonight. Ernie Gardi. Ernie, if you can unmute yourself, my friend. Ernie? Guess not.
Okay,
All right.
got it.
Oh, great, Ernie.
Yeah, just to bring you up to date on the Calgary market, we have currently about 18,000 rental units, purpose-built rental units under construction, another about 4,000 condominium apartments under construction. We are heading into a massive, massive oversupply of housing. And the rental rates have dropped about 30% in Calgary. And we're looking at the first half of Calgary is going to be just slightly cooler, but we're going to be hitting I believe a cement wall in the third and fourth quarter. We see about 150,000 people involved in construction, and about half of those are going to be laid off by summer to fall. So that's going to have a high impact on our housing market because a lot of those people rent and own housing also. The thing is that's changed here dramatically, of course. We had 500,000 people move to Alberta last year. This year, we're going to have no people moving to Alberta and maybe people leaving Alberta. So nobody wants to talk about that, and everybody wants to just talk about interest rates and what's going on with the tariffs. So the reality is the immigration made our market, and now the immigration is breaking our market. So we're looking forward to prices continuing to move down. Single-family homes have moved down about 10%. And I'm putting a house on the market, later this evening for $100,000 less than it was a year ago. So things have changed, and we see that that's going to continue into a downward trend.
Excellent. Thank you, Ernie. Appreciate it. That's the insight from Ernie Gardi. He's a REMAX guy, known for many years, at least 20 plus 25 years. I'm not sure, 20 plus at least. Again, Ernie Gardi is a gentleman, and you can Google him, Ernie Gardi from REMAX, by the way. We're going to move forward with our stuff. Single family. Again, we're discussing the same thing, built to rent. This is something which is incredible. Ontario have not been able to catch up. Toronto have given a green light, but we have still a lot of red lights from the city. Too much jargon. Again, you will get the building permit. Could take 6 months to a year or more, but again, it is expensive. This is not for everybody and everybody. This is an expensive stuff. You need to have $500,000 of your own cash, about $1 million of net worth. If you don't have it, that does not mean you cannot do it. There's something called general partnership or limited partnership and bring all the money in. You can still do it. There are several ways because people who have a lot of money may not have time They do not have the know-how, but you might have know-how, you have the time, and you can even charge a fee for the property as general contractor or something along the line. Again, opportunities are out there. Don't turn this thing, oh, it's not for me. You might have something which is a lot more valuable. Please do not underestimate your value. So tsunami, 3.2 million houses are needed by 2035, which is about 10 years down the road or 9 years down the road. So what exactly is happening? The government of Canada has introduced the Canadian Home Act, which I will discuss maybe next meeting or so. So what's going to happen? In my opinion, the government is going to come down with certain programs to make more Canadians become homeowners that are renters. And just like in Nova Scotia, they're putting a 2% down. Some of the municipalities across Canada make an offer forgivable down payment assistance. So just get ready for it. Just be aware of it. We'll be discussing as we speak. So this is as I mentioned to you, this is a house in Toronto, and they built a luxury laneway house, ADU. What does it cost? Less is $400 per square feet. It's still 600,000. What's the rent? 6,000 a month. This is a 168-piece laneway house. Those who have access to computer, just Google it, check it out. Is it really happening? There's a money in? Can you increase the value dramatically? Can you increase the cash flow? Can you build equity really fast? Yes, yes, and yes. But again, due diligence, make sure you have the know-how, you have proper education, you got all the tools, you got the money, and there are several other components required. But again, you might have few components. It's okay to become joint venture partner, get involved with general partnership, limited partnership, see who is willing to bring what tool on the table. People can bring good stuff all together. So here's something else. This is something interesting. Jerry, are you still here today? Jerry?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, can you elaborate on this oh boy, on this slide? How the Nike don't pay the taxes?
Well, let me say back when I worked with Deloitte Touche, they used to send me down to Nassau, Bahamas to set up IBCs, International Business Corps, for these rich people. And I'd walk across and go to Barclays Bank and get them a nice little black credit card that they could use anywhere in the world and never hits their bank account. So, yeah, this stuff happens.
All right. Well, Nike does it very well. I just thought I should share with you. And the intention is if you have a good tax planner, a good team behind you, they can do certain things. That's like in Canada, we have TFSA, tax-free savings account, and people should generate as much income as they can. As long as the CRA does not raise the red flag, you're not a day trader, follow the rules. But again, there are several different strategies, but make sure you get a professional help before you put them into practice. So Nike does it very well. They have this so-called logo, company's logo or a company's logo, and it's based in Bermuda, which have zero taxes.
Yeah, if I can jump in, Nav,
Sure.
sorry to
Let's go ahead.
interrupt. There's nothing illegal about these structures, okay? What you're supposed to be doing is reporting over, if you have assets over $100,000, there's a declaration that's required. And if you earn income anywhere in the world, you're supposed to report that on your Canadian tax return. Now, a little trick is if you are set up offshore, if the mind and management of that company is not in Canada, then you have a very good argument that it is not a Canadian resident corp, and any of the income that you do earn in those offshore havens are non-taxable. So there are legitimate ways to do this. You need the right structure, the right people. And now CRA has something called GAR, GAAR, General Anti-Avoidance Rules, and that can capture basically anything. So we have seen many structures that are completely compliant with the Income Tax Act. Nothing is wrong. Everything is structured right. And then CRA says, well, we think you did that just to save tax. We're going to apply GAR. So we always got to be a little cautious that that exists. So just, as Nav says, it's got to be done right. It's got to be set up, and you got to understand the pros and cons.
Excellent. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it. Again, this is something for interest only, just to make it our conversation interesting. This is US based. I just thought just throw at you just to add some little fun here. All right. Those who are aware of our investors education, that training is happening, I believe, on 22nd of February. If you're interested, just text your name on WhatsApp. You'll get all the information on it, though. Real estate network, this is something, in my opinion, for the best of the best, in my opinion, because you get the support or you get the connections. And there are pretty high level people, whether it's Keith Martin or a lot of the people here, which have been around for a very long time, and they're extremely successful. To meet them otherwise is next to impossible. So again, if you're not a member, become a member of PREIG.com. It's only $399 a year. Just thought I should just share with you. It is 8 o'clock, and unless otherwise somebody has something to add up, please feel free. Oh, Frank, are you here? Frank, are you here?
Yes, uncle.
All right, Frank, you want to share something quickly about your wholesale deal in Brampton?
Yes, definitely. The seller called me for this detached house in Brampton. I went, I have a look, lots of work in the property. So first I was thinking to close the deal and make good profit. But by seeing the market, I eventually assign this deal and I take 25,000, and by seeing the market, I just wholesale this deal.
So you made a good profit. It's
Yeah.
better to make a nice clean profit with not much money in the deal.
Yes.
Recently, in last 2 years or 3 years time, when people are crying, but since February of 2022 to February of 2026, which is like 4 years, have you been doing some fix and flips?
Yeah, I did number of fix and flip. I did renovations, and I make some money, but same time I lose money because of the market. But
Yes.
eventually, I make some.
It's okay to tell the truth, and there is always a risk. There is something which we can all say what we want, that we're going to make profit all the time. The truth is, it's a risky business. You're going to lose you're going to lose sometimes some money. That's the nature of the beast. Thank you, Frank. It's 8 o'clock. I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Thank you, Keith. Keith, you want to add something tonight? Keith? You here? Keith Martin?
Yes, I'm still here, Nav.
All right.
Not much.
Okay. Anything? Little one word of wisdom?
One word. If you're
2 words.
renovating, make sure you do it with permits.
Excellent. Please do not go into the shady area. Get always a building permit, get the proper trade people. It saves a lot of hassle. It's not worth it. And the city, when they come after you, it's not very pleasant. It's going to cost you a lot more money. It's not safe. It's not good for health, or it does not really. Don't break the rules, please. Simply follow the rules. Everybody's happy. Thanks, Keith. Thank you, everybody, and good night at 8 o'clock. Thank you so much. Once again, I'll see you in March. Bye for now.